You know what my mom always used to say to me? She used to say, Brian, if you can trust anybody in this world to keep you safe and tell you the truth, you can always trust a psychopathic political parasite who hungers and thirsts for the ring of power. You can turn your mind off and just submit to their every will. They will never, ever steer you wrong, boy. You hear me? And ever since then, I honored my mama. So I talk to you right now, mama. I always do what the government tells me to do because I know they know best. If they want me to go somewhere, I go. If they want me to stay somewhere, I stay. If they want me to pay taxes, well, I just let them flog me and I let them take it. And I'm happy about it because I know that my political masters are always going to take care of me. They'll always be truthful. They'll always be responsible. They'll always be respectful. And I'll always do what they say. The second thing my mama told me was, everything you see come out of that idiot box, boy, you just dang believe it. You take it to the bank. What they say is true. They'll never steer you wrong. Just like the bloodthirsty, psychopathic political parasites, you can trust every one of them corporate media talking head teleprompter reading puppets. So I honor my mama, and I submit to cognitive dissonance. Matter of fact, I'm so cemented in it, I'm way, way underwater with it, boy. Let me just tell you what. I got so many cobwebs in my mind, I'm probably breeding spiders up there. That's what I think about government. That's how they want us to act. Oh, they're saints. They're angels descended from heaven. Why don't you believe them? Why don't you trust them? Everything they say about COVID or C-Vid-19, I got to be careful what I say here, uncensored tube, believe them. And you are absolutely 100% verifiably insane if you don't believe government. How could you not trust mainstream media? After the decades and decades of consistent telling the truth, telling it like it is, never bending or twisting anything, never pushing any agenda, never propagandizing us at all, you can always believe them. You can always trust them. And it's shocking that anybody in society would break their rules, transgress their commands, believe against what they say, question what they propagate. We live in bizarro world. We literally, they expect you to obey. Amazing. Amazing. So I had to share this with you guys. Let me make sure I'm live because, you know, I have this tendency of breaking the connection. How are you guys doing today? That was my little intro for you. Yeah, don't trust man. Obeying psychopaths. I mean, think about it. Who in school, who did you ever go to school with that said, you know what? I want to be a politician. I mean, in my school, people would have looked at you like, what in the hell are you talking about? It'd be like saying, I want to be a child molester. What do you aspire to when you grow up, little Billy? Well, I thought fondling kids might be a good idea. I want to be a political parasite. I want the ring of power. I want to sit on the throne in Congress, and I want to make a whole bunch of rules, and if people don't obey me, I'm going to send the police. What? I mean, seriously, what? Yeah, we do, Serene Sapphire. We live in Twilight Zone. We literally live in Twilight Zone. So I had to share this with you. I couldn't just make a video on it. I had to talk to you guys and see what you thought about it in real time. Yeah, Ponzi Zombie Killer says, I want to be a bankster, mama. Little Johnny runs home. He goes, Mommy, I know what I want to be for when I grow up. Oh, yeah, what is it? You want to be a fireman? No, I don't want to be a fireman. You want to go out and do a whole bunch of good things and like save the whales? No, I don't want to save the whales. I want to be a bankster, mama. Because I learned in school, and I learned this real good. If you give a man a gun, he can rob a bank. But if you give a guy a bank, he can rob the world. And mama, I want to rob the world. That's what I aspire to. I don't even know what to say about what you're going to see here. This is 5 minutes and 55 seconds of pure insanity from CNN, Communist News Network, the Clinton News Network, the COVID News Network, the Coronavirus News Network. That's what this is. Hi, I'm Buttwheat, damn it. Or is that Gumby, damn it? I don't know, man. So we're going to have just a jolly good time looking at a little social psychopathy here. Would you like to study social psychopathy? Okay, let's just turn on CNN. And there's a lot of people out here who will go out and actually do exactly what CNN is propagating here and exactly what the Italian government is propagating for America. That's why I titled this. You got to see what CNN is propagating for Americans. That's exactly what they're doing. So that was my warm-up. Divide and conquer, nothing new, says James York. Yep, that's right. Okay, so here we go. Let me just check the sound. Are we 5 by 5? I'm just going to play a snippet of this.
Italy is enforcing one of
Can you hear that okay? Let me know, and then we shall proceed. Hey, M. What's up, Sir Budrick, Small Engine Tinkerer, Tim, your friendly neighborhood dealer, Nunya, Texas. All right, Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman is in the house. What's up, Gary? John Doe. Nondescript name there. Okay, here we go. Fasten your seatbelts. Sign the waiver. You're about to take a ride on roller coaster insanity. Here we go.
Strictest lockdowns. No one is allowed outside unless it's for an essential reason.
Look at the gun.
Not everyone.
I didn't even catch this the first time I watched this. Look, nobody's allowed outside. To keep people from dying, we're going to station a gun outside to make sure that nobody's walking around. Because if they're walking around, then they're going to be dying in a whole different way. What do you want to die? By bullets or by coronavirus? You know what? A government bullet or coronavirus. I think I'll take my chances with coronavirus. You know, statistically, you have a higher chance of living if you don't meet government. If you do meet coronavirus, you got a really high probability of not only not catching it, but if you did catch it, of not dying. But if you meet government, they'll slap you with the murder stick. That's what they do.
But not everyone is sticking to the rules.
Ping pong is not allowed. Go home and play on the PlayStation. You cannot stay here.
Mayor of the southern city of Bari is not in the mood for excuses.
Don't look at me like that. You should be respectful. There is a decree. I am the mayor of this city, and as the mayor of this city, I will make everyone respect this decree.
I will make everyone respect this decree. Why? Because tyranny is such a good idea, it has to be enforced. If you got to enforce something, you don't have a very good idea. Hey, I made this incredible coffee mug. Don't you want this coffee mug? No, I don't want your coffee mug. You're taking my coffee mug. This is my coffee mug. And by my decree, you're buying my coffee mug. Yeah, it's such a good coffee mug. It's so high quality, I have to force people to buy it. If you saw me forcing people to buy my coffee mug, you would think, God, that must be a low quality coffee mug. See, that's the problem with socialism, totalitarianism, authoritarianism. It's such a good idea, it's got to be enforced. You don't like my authoritarianism? I'm going to cram it down your throat, whether you like it or not. I just want to be left alone. We're out here playing, these guys are out there playing ping pong, minding their own businesses. You couldn't get any more social distancing than that, but you're going to find out how tight the regulations and the restrictions are in Italy. And then you're going to find out at the last 2 minutes of this video that Brianna Keeler from CNN, the Communist News Network, the COVID News Network, wants what is in Italy to be foisted on Americans.
Go home now. The police is coming.
He's one of several officials, mainly in...
It must be nice to walk around on the streets as a free man, telling everybody else that they can't walk around as a free man. I mean, look at... People can't see the forest for the trees. This mayor is walking around like a free man in the middle of an epidemic, telling other people that they can't walk around like he does. It's exactly what's happening. Oh, by the way, and he's walking around with a cameraman. It's just... The hypocrisy is immense. It's mountainous.
southern Italy who have taken to social media to cajole or even threaten their citizens to comply with restrictions.
Threats from the government to comply with our restrictions, because if you don't, we're going to put the hurt on you. We're going to punish you. We're going to fine you. We're going to throw you in a cage. And if you keep resisting, well, we're just going to off you. We're going to kill people to save people, keep people from dying. Nice touch.
This is like a war bulletin, because we are in a real war. And now I turn to you. You need to stay home.
Yeah, government, I believe you, because you never lie to me. We're in a war. It's a real war. Remember what Nixon said? Well, we're going to enter the war on drugs. We're going to enter the war against the international speculators, and we're going to close the gold window. It's just temporary, though. Yeah, it's a 48-year temporary now. They detached the fiat currency back then, which wasn't fiat because it was actually attached to gold, but they closed the gold window. They detached it temporarily, of course. The war on drugs, war on terror, war on the international speculators. Amazing. And people still here's the problem is. It's not even the problem that you have a totalitarian dictator like this. Do what we say or you're going to get hurt. Or totalitarian evil dictators like we have in our country, or like Canada has in theirs, or the UK has in theirs. It's not even about the dictator. It's not even so much that Hitler was bad, or Stalin was bad, or Mussolini was bad, or Mao Zedong was bad. It's that tens of millions of people just laid down and rolled over and gave up their rights. And then hundreds of millions of people died at the hands of the government they thought was going to keep them safe. If we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. We're in the midst of history right now. History is being written. Our posterity will read the history books. And what did we do? Oh, we obeyed and we stayed on lockdown because we were scared of the invisible virus that the government said was out there to eat our lunch. That's not the legacy I want to leave to my posterity.
Don't you understand that people are dying?
Hundreds of students will be...
Wow, Anonymous 1 says, Ontario, Canada lockdown as of midnight. All parks off limits. Go to jail and a $5,000 fine. Because ka-ching, the state's got to make that revenue, right? Remember, there's only one reason for laws, and it's not because the government is kind and compassionate and cares about you and doesn't want you or your family to get sick and die. It's to exert control, so transfer power from the people to the government, and to generate revenue. That's the only two reasons for laws and rules. You create a law that restricts movement or puts some kind of restriction on individuals, which means you transfer powers. And oh, by the way, the politicians who make the laws, they're exempt. The enforcers who enforce the laws, they're exempt. It's the exempt class. It's the political class and the enforcement class. And then there's the rest of us slaves who have to do what they say or else. So laws serve two purposes. It's a transfer of power. It takes away power from the people to the politicians, and it creates a revenue stream for state functionaries. That's the only two, objective reasons for the outcomes for creating a law. So don't think for a second these psychopathic parasites in these suits and ties, these empty suits, sitting behind these desks, walking out in the open, blasting everybody, telling them they can't walk free, but the politician can. Don't think for a second they're doing it because they care about you, or that they even think or even are convinced in their own mind that there's some invisible virus out there attacking and killing anybody. Nothing will rival the attack speed and the murder rate and the bodies piled up like government. Nothing. Hasn't in the last 150 years.
Graduating soon. I hear that some want to host a party. We will send the police, and we will send them with flamethrowers.
Did you hear that? We know people want to get together and party. You know, families want to get together. People want to get together for weddings. People want to get together for funerals or ping pong or whatever. But I'll tell you what, if that happens, we're going to send the police, and they'll be armed with flamethrowers. That's literally what this guy just said. We're going to burn your asses if you don't obey us. The fangs come out and the claws. Listen, we're going to listen to that again. That's just classic. And this is just setting the stage for what CNN is going to try to foist onto Americans. Wow, Breonna Keeler's going to go, well, what would you over there in Italy on complete lockdown, being treated like a whole nation full of kindergartners, And the school teachers coming to the hall monitors coming down saying, you need to get back to class or you're going to go to the principal's office. You're going to be punished. What would you say to Americans? Of course, you know what they're going to say. Listen to this guy again.
Home. Don't you understand that people are dying?
Hundreds of students will be graduating soon. I hear that some want to host a party. We will send the police, and we will send them with flamethrowers.
God, that's what I should have titled this video. We will send the police, and we'll send them with flamethrowers. What was, concerned citizen said, yeah, they're going to save us to death. I love that. Juan Edwards says, wow, flamethrowers? Jeez. That's hilarious. Chris Hall says, I'm crispy whitey.
The majority of Italians are taking the lockdown seriously.
Yeah, Amy says, Lord have mercy.
But over 92,000 of them were reported for breaking the emergency restrictions.
How is it going to be okay with people lining up to buy fuel? What is that fuel for if you have to stay at home? How is it going to be okay if people are asking for their hair to be done at home? Hairdressers are coming to homes. What is it a hairstyle for at this moment?
There are some.
They don't want hairdressers coming out. You're going to find out how locked down Italy is if what they're saying is true. But they've locked down. Look, they have these military vehicles in the streets. They're making sure there's no movement unless you need to go get food and, of course, to the pharmacy for drugs, because we know that the pharmaceutical company has to be propped up by the government. See, this is a monopoly on force and power. This is eliminating competition. This is destroying small businesses all across the world. As people are starting, they're going to default on their loans. This $1,200 thing ain't going to cut it, man. You got a business, you got 20 employees or 10 employees or whatever, they're going to fold. You don't see a whole lot of businesses out there liquid, sitting on mountains of cash. Usually people are leveraged. And when this thing goes away and, however long they choose to extend this, when this is all over, they still got to feel the ramifications and the repercussions of that fallout. There are people not making money right now. According to the last statistic I saw, and I just looked this up, I think it's as of November 2019, almost 70% of Americans don't have $1,000 in the bank in reserve, and less than that, a greater number of them is a big portion of that is less than $1,000 in the bank. $1,000 ain't going to keep you alive for, it's not going to keep food on the table. And then if you got $1,000 is not going to pay your rent, keep the lights on, put food on the table, insurance or whatever you have to have, keep gas in the vehicle. People are going broke right now. Like I said in a couple videos ago, there are families gathering around the dinner table going, what the heck are we going to do? And I got to be real careful about what I say, because if you start leading a revolution on the internet, oh God, they'll shut you down. But you know what we should do. You know what we should do. We far outnumber the 535 psychopaths in Washington's District of Criminals. We far outnumber the law enforcement class. There's like 990,000 of them throughout the entire United States. There's 327 million of us. 180 million of us are adults. But the problem is they've so distracted, deceived, and divided and conquered us that most people are calling for their own chains. They're calling for lockdown. Like you saw that hashtag lockdown Seattle. What was it on Twitter a week and a half ago? Please lock us down. Protect us from all the people who are acting free. We don't need freedom right now. We don't need liberty right now. We have to suspend the Constitution to keep everybody safe. Yeah, because we know that's what government's in the business of doing, right? Keeping people safe and making sure that their incomes are secured and that they're secured in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. Yeah, that's what government specializes in doing, right? It's literal, unhinged, broad spectrum psychopathy. That's what's going on.
Concessions for going out, for example, to walk a dog. But mayors are cracking down on those they think are exploiting this.
This morning I came across one of our citizens who was jogging with his dog that was visibly exhausted. I said to him, hey, this is not a film and you're not Will Smith in I Am Legend. Therefore, go home.
Amazing. What would you say to that guy? This isn't a film and you're not Will Smith. This isn't I Am Legend. Go home. Who are you? I'm sorry, who are you? Who are you? You go home right now or I'll call the police. And we're going to make sure they're armed with flamethrowers. God. Thanks, bullets have always done in the past. We'll just stay with bullets this time. No, we're bringing out the flamethrowers because you guys are just extra special bad. Why don't you engage in social distancing? Oh, my word. See, that's the problem is the politicians have so many people on their side. There's so many brain dead zombie lemmings. It almost is like we're in I Am Legend. The zombies are coming out. The sun goes down and the zombies come out at night. Well, it's nighttime in America. It's nighttime in Italy. It's nighttime in Spain and France, and people are losing their freedoms all because of a lie. Look, let me show you. Let's just go back over here. Let's make sure that you can see this. This is from, and I'll leave the link. The link is in the second to the last video, but this is from www.gov.uk. And what does the UK say about this high consequence infectious diseases, which they used to classify COVID-19 as, but they don't anymore? As of 19 March 2020, COVID-19 is no longer considered to be a high consequence infectious disease. And it says down here, the Advisory Committee on Dangerous Pathogens. Can you see this? Oh, shoot. You couldn't see that. Look, I'll just put it right down there. Status of COVID-19 from www.gov.uk. As of 19 March 2020, COVID-19 is no longer considered to be a high consequence infectious disease. Okay, so why are you still jailing people who are out there acting like free people? The Advisory Committee on Dangerous Pathogens is also of the opinion that COVID-19 should no longer be classified as an HCID, high consequence infectious disease. So, hey, America. Hey, Trump administration. Hey, Mr. Fauci. Hey, Ms. Birx. Guess what? It's not classified in the UK as an HCID. I think they just let this slip out. I don't even know why they let that slip out. But you know what? That's the truth. That's the truth. And besides, if it wasn't the truth, if this is highly infectious, the last thing we need to do is have government virus telling us what we have to do. You sprinkle the government into anything and you always make it worse. Prices go up, quality goes down, infections get worse. But they stepped in to cure polio. No, polio was already gone down. It had already been eradicated by 90%. Over 90%. I showed you the chart in the other video 2 days ago. But then the people with the vaccines and the government, of course, took credit for it. Oh, look what we did. Now, it was happening already. It was already abating dramatically. But they took credit for it because that's one thing the government likes to do is they like to co-opt things and take credit for it. And remind you that they are the savior of the world. And you need to bow down to the Messiah government, the savior of the world. And you need to pray their prayers. And you need to pledge your allegiance to that flag of the United States Federal Corporation of America, Title 28, Section 300215A, period. Bull. How about we're thinking individuals? We're not children. We're adults, and we don't need other adults telling us what to do, especially adults who are agents of government.
With the coronavirus outbreak in Italy now the deadliest in the world, authorities want to leave no doubt about what's at stake.
And if we go on like this, we will just be counting the dead. We won't have hospital spaces for your fathers and mothers. Is that clear?
A direct message that these officials hope.
Fear. You don't want to die, do you? You don't want to get somebody sick, do you? You don't want their blood to be on your hands, do you? Then you need to shape up and you need to obey us. If you don't obey us, you shall be punished. We reserve for ourselves the moral right to rule you. And we understand, because we're psychopathic, that you have the moral obligation to obey us or else be punished. Because we are the church called the state, and you shall bow down and worship our God and obey him and him alone. That's literally, I would just rather them appear as the demons they are. Wouldn't you? Just drink blood in front of us. Just do your evil deeds. Don't act like you're out there to save us. You know they're not. History tells you time and time again that people in government, people who want the ring of power, people who want to be governors, people who want to be controllers literally want that power because they want to control. They want a monopoly on force and violence. They want to put people in a situation where they can't resist them. You want to know the true character of an individual? Find out what a strong individual does when people are not strong enough to resist their power. And find out how that strong person treats those people. If you have a person in a position of power that treats the powerless like they're peasants, like all politicians do, then that's all you got to know about their character. If you have a politician who's out there who wants to put one more frickin' gun law on the books, you know that person is against you and your family and against you